Wow, where do we start?
Sexy Dementors.
Yeah.
I want to be myself!
Okay.
Yeah! Oh my God!
I'm gonna show you what it's all about.
Welcome back to Professional Musicians React. Today, we are listening to Prince's first release since his death in 2016. All that and more today on Professional Musicians React.
Musicians React.
Before we dive in, here's what we're listening to today. We're listening to Prince's new album, Welcome to America. This album is coming out at the end of July. The engineer is Jason Angel, who's a Grammy-nominated engineer.
I know that guy.
You know Jason Angel?
Yeah.
Wait, am I saying it right, or is it Jason Agel?
Agel.
Agel. Jason.
I think.
Eagle.
Jason Agel has worked with John Legend, Courtney Barnett. He's been around. God, this album is coming out at the end of July, July 30th. It's his first release since he died in 2016.
Wow.
It was recorded in 2010.
Wow.
Recorded 6 years before he died. He didn't release it. I actually don't know why he didn't release it.
Huh.
Maybe we'll find out when we listen today.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is Welcome to America off Prince's new record.
Okay. Let's turn down the lights a little bit.
Welcome to America, where you can fail at your job, get fired, rehired, and get a $700 billion tip.
Come on in, sit right down, and fill up your pockets, yeah.
Mass media, information overload. Welcome to America.
Following message is brought to you by Diacom.
Distracted by the features of the iPhone.
Got an application.
In other words,
situation.
taken by a pretty face.
Somebody's watching you.
Welcome to America. Hook up later at the iPad.
Wow, where do we start?
Oh my God, just jumping right in.
I mean, good morning, everybody. Boy, that's a hard one to start with.
Right?
It is.
Because there's so much there.
Okay, first thing I'll say about the production is it is fucking hard to listen to the production when those are the lyrics.
Exactly. 'Cause
Oh,
that's what-
to me, it seemed vocally unmixed.
Totally.
That part, I was like, I don't know what Prince is saying. He's like, "Well." And then everybody else is like, hey, hey, hey. But what part is important?
Production-wise, it was just like a melting pot of like Prince doing his funk guitar thing.
Yeah.
There was like a jazz piano player in
Which
the
is probably
background.
him.
You know, it sounded like someone was scoring the sequel to Shaft.
It feels stark.
Yeah.
Like the synths are just, it sounds like the DI out of like a DX7 or like like straight into the DAW, like nothing else on it. The other thing is it sounds very clean. Like everything just sounds pristine. It sounds like it's recorded through like really nice hardware, full frequency spectrum. Like, did you guys hear the triangle? The whole thing?
Yeah,
I couldn't unfocus on the triangle. Sonically, it was like super high frequency shit all the way down to really low shit, and then all the pads and vocals in between to kind of fill up the space. Humans can hear somewhere between 20 hertz and 20,000 hertz. And so sounds that are up here, there was this wonderful little triangle sound in this recording, which is a super high frequency tone way up here. There are a lot of overtones in that full range. The bass sits down here. You know, a lot of basses are in that 100 hertz range. Guitars are very mid-rangey, or in this area around, 500 to 2,000. Electric guitars are in that like 3,000 range. Cymbals are really bright. Cymbals sit up in the upper end of the frequency spectrum. The vocals are sitting around 5K and 6K is where a lot of the like main vocal information is. And when we say that it's full frequency, full spectrum, it means that we're hearing a lot of these frequencies with a lot of different instruments all at once. Okay, fuck it. We're talking about lyrics. Home of the Slave, surveillance capitalism, all the way back in 2010.
Yep.
I feel like it's kind of hard to listen to this in 2021 because in 2021 it kind of feels like, what is this, like a social media PSA or something? Like we're all kind of, it's like we know that.
Yeah.
Totally.
But if you put on your 2010 hat, it probably was ahead of its time. Like this is,
absolutely. Yeah.
this song is,
Totally.
the song is 10 years before The Social Dilemma came out.
The one that stood out to me was everybody and their mama got a sex tape.
Everybody and their mama got a sex tape.
Which I actually haven't made my sex.
Me neither.
So I
Slacking.
feel a little bad about that.
Why? I didn't hear Prince sing much. Did he sing at all?
Well, okay. So this is coming from a vocalist standpoint. These songs to me would be a marathon to record.
Yeah.
Because there's no repetition. FOMAU. What?
But don't be late. Everybody.
Like everything is different.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh my
So many
gosh.
parts.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit all over the place with the lyrics. Like it bounces from surveillance capitalism to corporate America to the educational system. You know who did a version of the song that, or I don't want to say a version of the song. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it. But This Is America.
Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.
When that song came out,
Oh, man.
that hit me in the feels 1,000%.
Yep.
And it made me, it said this
Yep.
Yes.
way better. I don't know. For me, it lacks the punch to the gut emotionally that I think a lot of people have accomplished with this, with similar, kind of touching on similar
Right.
themes.
One of the first things I thought was someone, I heard this from somewhere, that Prince, his goal was not to be like the best songwriter. It was to be the most prolific songwriter,
Oh.
which that has stuck. That's just in my head all of the time, is like, how freeing and awesome is that? And the first thing I thought when he started talking was like, how cool is this that he's just out here, like, this is one of a gajillion things that he made, and like it doesn't sound like he's being precious or anything, and like, who knows if he intended for this to see the light of day.
Yeah.
But he's just like,
Yeah, let's not forget, he didn't put this
he didn't
out.
put this
That's what
out.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
sat on this for 6 years.
For a reason. He may not wanted to put
And
it
yeah,
out.
he's famous for just like recording albums and hundreds of tracks that are just, he'll shelve and never see it. So that's kind of like the first thing that I thought when he started talking.
That's such a good point.
Is like, oh, how cool is this? That it sounds like he was having, coffee or whatever,
Yeah,
and he's
just having
just
a
like
talk.
scribbling down these thoughts, and then this track came about, and he's like, oh, I should read this, this like poem, over this like groove and see what happens. It just sounded to me like, oh, that's cool. Prince is trying stuff.
I wonder how they actually recorded that, right?
I can call Morris. I got Morris's haze in my phone. I can call him.
Yeah, hey, Jason.
Wait, for reals?
For reals.
You know Morris?
Well, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
So I was singing, I'd been here for 2 years and I moved over here and thought, I'm going to put a band together. I had a 10-piece band and very quickly found out that doing gigs where no one knows you with a 10-piece band and you can't pay anybody is not the thing to do. So Morris I'm opening for the girl that he's produced, but I don't know who the girl is. I'm just there doing my thing with my 10-piece and I'm kind of a bit jaded. I've been here 2 years and it's meeting so many people going, you're so good, give me a card, hear nothing. So he comes up to me and I did Round and Round, the Prince song. And he's like, who are you? And I go, Dannielle De Andrea, before I was married. And he goes, why don't I know you? And I'm like, I don't know.
Did you know who he was at the time?
No. And he goes, I played on that song. And I went in my head, yeah, right. I was like, bullshit. Oh, sorry. And so he gave me a blue piece of card and he got a texter, Sharpie, and wrote down his name and number. So the next day I'm in my corporate wedding band gig that I was doing when I first came here to make some cash, and I'm singing, man, I feel like a woman, and my phone is open and he's ringing me. And I'm like, I can't answer this right now. No, not while this song's on. So I waited, and then he called me and we spoke, and he said, we're having a jam on Tuesday and it's at Prince's house and I'd love it if you want to come. And I'm like, sure, being really cool. Hang up. And then he says, do you have a desk tape of you round and round of your version? I said, yes. So I sent her the desk tape, spent the next 2 days, couldn't tell anybody I was going to his house, spent the next 2 days learning all the new Prince songs that I wasn't really, the later records that I hadn't wrapped my head around, just trying to learn wherever I could. Then go to his house, go there with my husband, get to the estate, and I'm thinking as soon as I say my name, they're going to, you're not on the list. And I go, Dannielle Gaha. And they're like, oh, come through. And the gate goes up and I'm like, oh, babe, we're going in. And we get to the door and there's a guy at the front with a mic and a suit on. He's like, you here for the party? I'm like, uh-huh. And we walk into his house. This is when he lived in LA. And you can hear the music's coming from the basement downstairs. We walk past this like lounge room and there's the piano from Purple Rain like sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I look out and there's a pool, and coming out of the pool is this ice sculpture of the Prince symbol with purple lights coming off it and all this fog. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is why I moved to America, just to see this, Walk down, and on either side of the walkway, there's this big glass cabinets, and there's the bike from Purple Rain. And I'm having a very quiet coronary. Yeah. And we walk in, and there's 30 people dancing, and there's like full-on sound system, and the whole band are all there. Maceo Parker, they're all there. His singers are in thrones, the girls all dressed up. I was told it was a jam. They're all dressed up for this party. And for 4 hours straight, he played all these different songs. There was no alcohol. We all got orange juice and soda water. So it's 4 a.m. The jam is kind of slowing down, and all the stars are leaving. There's like 7 of us left. And there's me, my husband, the band, and Anthony Michael Hall, the guy from Weird Science. So then we're dancing, and then my husband looks at me and he's like, giving me the look like that. I'm like, what's going on? And Prince comes around and hands me the microphone, and his backing singer comes down, and we're singing I don't remember the song because I'm still in shock, but it was an Earth, Wind and Fire tune, and her and I are just singing together. And my husband said that Prince went around and recorded me. So I'm singing with her, and that's great. And then it all finishes. Then we all go upstairs. He goes upstairs somewhere else. The thing finishes, and his chef is making dessert for everybody. So then we're walking out to leave the party, and he comes down and he's sat in pajamas with heels. Had a heel on, and he walks past, and what do you say? Like, you're really good? He knows that. And I just went, thank you so much. And he was like, you're very welcome. And we walked out, and I'm standing in the front of his house with Anthony Michael Hall again. And Anthony Michael Hall goes, how surreal was that? And I went, what's surreal that you're saying that to me? And he goes, oh, thank you. Because no one recognised him, but I did. So then I get into the car and I get home, and then I get another call saying, listen, he wants 3 singers and we're going to have another jam. And I'm going to let you know when it's going to be. But he wants to add a singer to his next tour, which was the 21 nights, the big one they did in LA. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'll let you know when the jam's going to be. In that time, his drummer and bass player, who are married, went back to Tennessee, and the big storm happened in Tennessee, and they couldn't get back to LA. So the jam never happened, and I never got to do it. So it's a letdown. Oh. Sorry. But he did hear my version of Round and Round, and he did, I had cake at his house.
Wait a minute. That story was not a letdown at all.
Oh, that was we were all waiting for and then
and then I toured with him for 15 years.
And then I went to the concert, and I was like, oh, there's the third singer, But it was just, apparently that happened a lot with him. Like, you got to be in there in the moment, and if you're there and it happens, it's all,
Okay, factoids. Factoid number 1. What was Prince's real name?
Nelson. That's all I know. I know Nelson was in there somewhere. Nelson Rogers. Right? All right.
You're really close. Prince's real name.
Isn't it actually Prince Rogers Nelson?
There you
or
go.
Something?
Prince Rogers Nelson. Yeah. That's Prince's real name.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Some artists that Prince wrote songs for include.
Are you asking us?
Chaka Khan.
Yes. I Feel For You by Chaka Khan.
Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor. Didn't he write that?
Sinead
O'Connor. Vanity, Sheila E.
I mean, basically the answer is everybody. Yeah. Probably all the above. I don't know that one. But Manic Monday for the Bangles.
Yeah, Bangles.
I Feel For You, Chaka Khan.
Yep.
Nothing Compares to You for O'Connor. Okay, last lightning round. What was his biggest success in the U.S.?
What was his... Oh, it was the movie, Purple Rain.
So Prince simultaneously held the #1 spots for film, single, and album.
All Purple Rain.
During the week of July 27th, 1984 for the full Purple Rain package. Wow.
So good.
Purple Rain
so good.
Hit #1 at the box office. The same week, the film soundtrack was the best-selling album, and When Doves Cry was holding the top spot for the single.
Oh, wow. When Doves Cry.
When Doves Cry. Okay, and now for a golden oldie, one of my favorite songs of all time. Number 1 in the charts for 2 straight weeks, Kiss by Prince.
Right?
Don't have to be beautiful to turn me on. I just need your body, baby, from dusk till dawn. You don't need experience to turn me on. You just leave it all up to me. I'm gonna show you what it's all about. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular sign I'm more compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss.
Play it again.
I want to be myself.
Okay, now I took notes.
No shirts from now on, all right?
Crop tops,
I know.
bedazzled shoulders, sexy dementors. I want it all. Yeah.
How can you not see that and feel empowered?
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
To just fucking, I'm gonna be myself today.
That's
Of course.
that's the whole magic about him. Is like
Absolutely.
he believes in himself so hard.
Like,
He's
what?
sexy as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's very like androgynous where he
Yeah.
looks feminine, but he still could pull any girl in the room.
Yep.
Like it's just like
Yep.
everybody wanted to be with him. I heard things on this listen
Me too.
that I've never heard before. Second verse, that's when the
Dun-dun.
very first time I ever heard it.
Oh, okay.
And it was like so slight, like, oh my gosh, it's so sparse in the beginning.
At the beginning, for like the first minute, it's drums, the percussive synth playing eighth notes, vocals.
Don't have to be beautiful.
That's it.
And his vocals are all very minimal, up really high and very soft. It's like,
Here.
you don't even know what I'm going to do at the end of this song yet. It's all falsetto and it's like,
Yeah.
really like, and then he does like, at the end, he does like 3 octaves down to the low thing. Falsetto is when you sing in the high part of your voice when you're not screaming. Prince does, you don't have to be. It's all up there instead of, you don't have to be. That's the chest voice. So that's the difference. And then that loud screaming at the end on that last chorus where he really builds it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be rich when he's just going
Yeah.
crazy.
At the very end of the song, there's a guitar solo thing happening, and then there's the wah synth that is only in for like a bar or two for like in the last 5 seconds of the song. Did you guys hear that? Which anytime I hear something like that in a track, it makes you wonder what they deleted.
They took it out. They're
yeah,
like, better
you got
without it.
You got to think like there was bass on it.
Yeah.
And there was like all of a sudden, then he was like, all right, what is the essence? What do we need? What's the essence of the song?
I am so guilty of this as a producer of just pumping more things into a track and trying to get the wall of sound kind of vibe going. Hearing something like this is so inspiring because every sound is so well crafted and beautiful. Yeah, you don't need that much going on to make it groove that hard.
The thing that's insane about this song and songs like this is I literally can't imagine a world before this song existed. He hit a line drive right down the middle. He's like, and it's just like, he just nailed it. He just like, he invented a table or something.
I love that every time that it was the sexy dementor like taking peekaboo. She was like, yeah.
He's just having so much fun.
Exactly.
It's just fun words that sound good and they're fun, like act your age, not your shoe size.
Right.
At your age, not your shoes, not your shoe size.
Right? Did you not know that line? Isn't it great?
And then he's like totally unashamed to do like fucking lyric shit like From Dusk Till Dawn. He's like
Yeah.
but he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna say From Dusk Till Dawn.
From dusk till dawn.
He's really opening up his pool of potential mating candidates. You don't have to be beautiful.
Right.
You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be cool.
Yeah.
You don't need experience.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a particular sign.
Right.
He will do it with anyone.
I think you have to be beautiful.
You
though.
just have to have a little extra time,
yeah.
And you have to give it to him.
and
You have
he
to give
wants
him your
it,
extra time.
and you have to kiss. He needs you to kiss him.
Yeah.
Right.
Your extra time and just
That's
a kiss.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe he's being very selfless. You know what I mean? Like,
He'll
I
do
don't
it. He
believe
knows
you.
how to undress himself.
Yeah,
You don't even have
isn't
to
he
undress
clever?
him.
Right. And the other thing I never noticed, and maybe it's just because you hear it on speakers and you don't hear the extra stuff, but when you listen on headphones, there's that gated reverb on the kick drum that is just that extra push and makes the kick be like a full chunk of a section. Just.
But it's a blues.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote a blues, and it's so hard to make a blues not cheesy. A blues is a very old type of form involving typically 3 chords. The 1 chord, or the tonic, the 4 chord, and then the 5 chord, which is a dominant chord. And there are a whole bunch of variations, but the most typical type of blues is a 12-bar blues, which looks like this. It's the 1 chord for 4 bars, and then the 4 chord for 2 bars, back to the 1 chord for 2 more bars, 5 chord for a bar, 4 chord for a bar, and then the 1 chord. Maybe there's some type of turnaround. Goes at the 5 again in the last bar to get back to the 1. But this is the most typical type of blues. Kiss is kind of a variation on the 12-bar blues with a bit of an extended. When it goes to the 5 chord to the 4 chord, it goes back to the 5 chord again. So it adds a couple bars to the typical blues form, but it's essentially a blues.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching another episode of Professional Musicians React. If you like this, please subscribe. We're coming out with new episodes every week. If you have suggestions for what we should react to and listen to next, please leave us a comment in the comment section down below, and we will read it and maybe react to it in our next video. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.